one last time with feeling. Hey guys, Silvertone here, and welcome back to the finale, or rather, welcome to the finale of Let's Play Axiom Verge. Because at this point, we only have one thing left for us. And that one thing is not down here. That one thing is up here. Come on. This one thing is the final boss. And as we step up here into the breach attractor, by the way, I like how there's a little haptic watch, and the hatch closes. That the drones spawned in ahead of time to block off Athetos. But yes, it is Athetos. He doesn't look so good, to be honest. His eyes are a little yellow as well. He really doesn't look so good. But I have to feel bad for Trace, to be honest, because the only other sentient creatures he's had to speak to are the Rusalki, and these, other than that, he has lore messages, but that's just messages left behind. It's just the Rusalki he's had for conversations, and then Athetos himself, years in the future, in this state, is the only other human he has seen. And Athetos is in some pretty bad shape. Forced into a healing type of device, thanks to the pathogen, since the Rusalki destroyed a much better version, and even this device only extends his life. It doesn't really heal him. Well, Trace, let's find out. Blunt answer. I kind of respect Athetos for that in this. He doesn't really seem to make any overt attempts to lie. Any questions that Trace asks, Athetos answers very bluntly, very simply. And it's just like, well, I could tell you more, but then your captors will have to kill you too. So, in some twisted way, it almost feels like Athetos does care about himself. Does that make him a narcissist? That's an interesting question. That is an interesting question. But now he's talking about what Sudra was, some great nation on the verge of the greater universe. And unfortunately, when Athetos first came here, they forgot all of that. Their own technology was superstition and religion. I feel like I've heard that before. And this was when he first crossed into the breach into Sudra, and it's like this whole new world through a vast wormhole type thing that is the breach. Expect to find enlightenment, and then just this, what he found. It's kind of understanding how it could be very disillusioning. Especially that they consider the entire outside universe just, it doesn't exist. You're not allowed to do any of this. And it's it justifies his, how do I want to say this? I'm not going to say it justifies his reasoning to just release the pathogen, but it explains his reasoning. And I'm not sure I can honestly say I agree with his method. I mean, it's a really interesting question here, but he does have his points. It's like death, disease, war, famine, all this stuff. The technological advancements beyond the breach, they could all be found, be made to betterment for everyone. But the Sudrans were in the way in their superstitious, ignorant ways. So it's a very gray area, but it leads more towards black. It's hard to say. It is really hard to say. And another fine point by Trace. The Rusalki flaw in my plan. They are masters of war. Well, we did hear from Elsnova that she was a soldier beforehand, and if what her true form was and just what all of their true forms are, I can kind of understand. And I can kind of agree with Athetos here that maybe it's not the best idea to just let them run rampant. It may not be the best solution, everything he's done, but at this point I could agree with him that it's not wise to just let them go. There's something more to them there than just what appears. Alright, Trace, what is your answer? His answer is boss music. If yourself doesn't agree with you, what does that say about what happened? What really does that say if you can't agree with yourself? And Athetos is still up there in his little passageway, and we now have these remote drones. And these drones, you can corrupt them. Actually, they're very tough. To corrupt them, you do actually need to use the address bomb. And they can all be killed, but they are infinitely respawning. You could kill them till the end of time, really. And it won't do much of anything for the sheer reason of they aren't your target. Elznova said a while ago that she could help if not for the shield. We gotta deal with the shield. And quite frankly, that up there looks just shiny enough to want to be killed. And if I can kill it, I said. Come on, give me some health, give me some more health. The drones are at least good for health. We destroy that, the bridge disruptor will go up, and now Nova shows up in her terrifying fish-like. That makes total sense, considering the mythology of Rusalki and what I've already mentioned. That makes total sense. It's supposed to be water machines anyway. Yeah, sorry. So every time you go through a phase of that, and there are multiple phases of the fight, and destroying the shield is considered a phase. The drones gain a new attack pattern. They have gone from the lasers to the spread shot you see here. Again, it's not really threatening. The flamethrower is amazing for this. It's one reason I love having it. And do enough damage to the shield, and there's Nova again. And she's just going to do what she's already done. And that's shoot the breach attractor. And as she comes by the second pass, the shield returns itself, and let's see what the corrupted form of you guys is. You shoot much slower bullets, I think? I'm not sure. Whatever. I should really not be killing them, and I should be focusing on the breach attractor. I have enough health currently. So yeah, you do need to jump with the flamethrower, sadly, but the flamethrower is incredibly powerful, so I'm gonna do it anyway. And come on, you guys. Perfect. Perfect. And if you know, there's the drones. Of course, it doesn't matter. The breach disruptor has been destroyed. And Athetos is a rather graceful loser, I admit. I do like that part of him. He is a very graceful loser. But yes, the breach destructor is destroyed, the breach is gone, so all of this is finally at an end. And I wonder what this last thing you need to do is. Are you really surprised, Trace? Are you really surprised? And I do like that Athetos, in some weird way, tries to comfort Trace. It's not your fault. It was going to happen anyway. I honestly don't know what to make of Athetos. And his relationship with Trace himself, it's weird. But I honestly don't know what to make of it. And that is a mouth laser. That is quite the mouth laser. And I like how Trace is... He's either in shock enough over this, or he's just jaded from everything else that he doesn't even flinch at that. Never know if what. A good question, to be honest. Could he have been redeemed? Perhaps, Elznova. This gets into weird discussions, metaphysics, I think, or I don't know the actual terms, but it's just like futures. Time travel is weird. Future, past selves, it's all weird. Really now, you're just gonna send Trace home. After all this, it's a clone of a mass murderer after everything he's been through. That's really comforting, Nova. Really comforting. Still very unsettling. It's like, what El's Nova is now, that is what most people would consider your final boss to be in appearance. Just this big monster type deal, and it wasn't. It was on your side, and it's... Yeah. Yeah. But, as for what happened, well, as far as Earth is concerned, next to nothing. Trace just wakes back up in a hospital bed. Right after the explosion at that laser lab at not Black Mesa. He was uninjured this time, nothing happened, though the lab was still kind of destroyed and nobody thinks anything of it. But really, the thing is though, after everything Trace has been through, after everything Trace has seen, he is definitely not the same. It's hard for soldiers, like a soldier in wartime coming back to just where they live currently, their home, peacetime situation, it is hard for them to adjust. And after everything Trace has been through, he has it a lot worse than that. And because of that rationale, he just feels he must get back to Sudra. And that makes sense. Whatever he wants to find, it will be there. Though, one must wonder something. I almost wonder if this is a stable time loop. Now, not getting into the whole cause initially, because stable time loops kind of just exist no matter what all that stuff, but the glint in his eyes were that of Athetos's. So, it's obviously not a perfectly stable time loop because the original Trace didn't seem to know any of this, the one who was wounded and healed, but it seems like he may become Athetos once more, to some extent. I really do like this game. This is probably one of the first Metroidvanias I've played in a long time, and the first time I played it, up to the completion you saw, I did this, like, guideless, mapless. Oh, did I do it the entire way? I think I did it the entire way. I may have brought out a guide about the point I was at Athetos just to go pick up more power-ups and such, but for the most part, I did it by myself, and I missed so much stuff. And going back through and just finding everything, there's a lot of stuff in this game, and it is hidden well. Like, if you have a finely honed Metroid sense, you will find a good chunk of it, but then there's other stuff that is hidden in puzzle ways. Like, the two weapons hidden behind passcodes. The one in the temple and the flamethrower. Both of them are hidden behind passcodes, but in different ways. And then there are other tricky things, requiring you to warp into walls, requiring you to glitch an enemy and then go into a different room. Just all of this different stuff and all the ways it hides things. And I like how this game hides things. It really makes you think. Now, it can get tough at times, I do fully admit this, but I like this game. I think I've said this multiple times now, and I do not care. It's a good game. Oh, let's see, what else do I have to say? I don't think there's much more to say on Axiom Verge itself. I don't expect to do a bonus video. The only thing I have left I could even remotely show would be more of the secret areas, and they're really all the same, but, hey, it's Trace. I'm gonna let this all finish up before I get into the whole talk about no bonus videos, because we're done with the game, but there's still one more thing to see. One more stinger at the end. This entire game doesn't really try to make sense. It really doesn't. Alright, final stats first. Difficulty! Normal. Pfft, don't laugh at me. 6 hours, 12 minutes, 23 seconds, and 55 milliseconds. 100% of the items, 100% of the map, and only 8 deaths. And I believe most of them were intentional. Not bad final stats, if I do say so myself. But we've got one more thing to see. That could actually make sense for the stable time loop, actually. Because Trace was injured when he arrived, but he would have known about... It's possible, actually. If he was injured by that Athetos shooting him, but it's... but he would have known... That would explain why he was so accepting of it, but it's... time travel is complicated. That's all you need to know. And this game isn't going to explain anything more. There's 2 possible stinger endings like that, to my memory. One is based on speed, the other is based on item completion, and I believe if you beat the game fast and get full item completion, you will still see the item completion ending. And that was the item completion one you saw there. I believe Athetos is in both of them, but I don't actually recall. I've never actually seen the speed one. Probably could have looked it up, to be honest. Anyway, the reason why no bonus videos. It would just be me going into the secret areas, and pretty much, like, yeah, they're all going to look different. They're kind of randomly generated, but if you've seen one, you kind of get the idea of what they're all like. And even if I did finally find this weapon, which I am, as I understand, there is a weapon in the secret areas. I've said this multiple times. Even if I did find it, then there's, like, what, a minute-long video of me showing off the weapon? Yeah. Though, really... It's fine. I'm just going to leave it there. I have other things I can look forward to, and I really should be getting ready to get into those, so I'm just going to end it off here. This has been Silver Torn Let's Play Axiom Verge. It's been a fun ride, guys, but I will see you all whenever my next project starts. Later!